I have an Ember mug here. Well, it's upside down, but take my word for it. I don't know if this is a Gen 1 or Gen 2. I'll look it up and put that in the video description. The problem is it stopped charging. It gets like 5% and then just dies. So it's about 2 years old. I'm assuming that it's the batteries, because the electronics seem to work okay when it's sitting on the base and the Bluetooth connects and whatnot. So I'm going to try and take it apart. There's no video guide for it that I could see. There's a few forums where people have gotten these apart, so I'm going to try some of their ideas. I'll include those links in the description. What worked for me and was suggested in the forums was a strap wrench, just a neoprene strap wrench. You can kind of get it on here. It's really, really tapered. You can see there's not a whole lot to grip on, and honestly, a thinner wrench might work. As you can see, it just goes right over the radius and kind of slips. But if you play with it a little bit and are gentle with it, you can get it on there, kind of half on here, half on the base of the mug, like under the little twist base. And you can get enough friction to get it going. As the mug is oriented upside down, you want to twist clockwise, so opposite of, obviously, pretty much any other bolt and screw out there. So just be patient, kind of work it slowly. It doesn't need to turn too much, and you don't need a whole lot of force, but it's just kind of a pain to get it going. So boom, like this, and then just don't twist it too much. Just try prying it every now and then, just to see how it goes. But it will come up very easily once you're in the right spot. It's hard to do this one-handed. All right, I'm gonna get this apart, and I'll take another video once it's apart. There's a ribbon cable somewhere in here that you're not supposed to damage. Well, obviously, I'll show you where that is, and hopefully you can avoid breaking your mug. All right, we got some light, and that's a little better. I'll do this with the label oriented toward me, so you have a frame of reference for where the cable is. The cable's right in there, so it's, I would say, just opposite, and a little over to the right of the logo, so 180 degrees behind it, and then a little bit to the right if we're looking counterclockwise. So there's the ribbon cable right in there, and we'll be careful to disconnect that cleanly, and then we can take apart the rest of the mug. The forum posts have really good pictures of this. I may just steal some of those, include them in the video, as to not duplicate their work. But we're gonna pull this open and replace the battery pack. It's a pair of 18650s, as far as I know. We'll see if we buy the entire battery pack, or if we get a spot welder and just weld in new batteries. We'll go with a disassembly and see what happens. Maybe we can even jumpstart these batteries and just get them working. I don't know if the voltage is too low, but we'll check that out. So I'll be back soon. All right, so the ribbon cable has enough flex to it that you can kind of set the base down like this without damaging it. Why not use my pointy tool? You know, metal and electronics go so well together. This is actually a piece of metal that's integrated into this little cover here. I thought it was separate, just protecting this on top of the connector, but it's actually in here. So we need to take this off before we can get to the connector. Those are Torx, T tiny. The forums have what measurement they are. They're pretty small. So we'll get this off and then get the rest of it disassembled. The screws that hold on the little metal cover that covers the electronics of the battery is a T6H. Okay, we got the metal box off, 3 screws there, and here we are at the battery. I'm sure it's really helpful upside down. And I'll post everything that's useful on here, but it's 18650s. Let's see if there's a 2234. That's a manufacture date. Not sure if there's anything useful on here. Maybe that QR code is useful. But we'll see. We'll keep going. All right, there's one more screw to take out right there. And then the circuit board can come up. There's a little black, little black plastic thing here. This looks like a light pipe for the LED. I got a little pry tool in there, just very carefully was able to pop it up. I don't think I damaged anything with that. So that's what it looks like. It's got some little kind of plastic clippy things on the bottom there. I mean, if you break it, I guess it's no big deal, but if you're careful, you should be able to disassemble it non-destructively. All right, so let's pop the battery and the board up. It's hard to do this one-handed. I've heard that the battery is either glued or possibly taped to the board, so heating it up just a little bit should unstick it, and we can continue. So the adhesive that's holding the circuit board to the battery pack is not very strong. It looks like it's a tape, similar to like how a phone battery is taped in. I'm having some luck just prying it very gently with a plastic little guitar pick. As long as you don't bend anything, it should be all right. I didn't really even need to heat it up. All right, when you're prying up the circuit board, just be patient. You know, take like 5 minutes or so with the plastic pick, or even a credit card might work if you can get it under there without bending. But it'll eventually come up. So we'll actually, there's a lot of contacts on there, clearly unused. It looks like there's sensors of some. Oh, this will be interesting to clean up. And do a little teardown. Not a teardown, but a little description. It's a cool little PCB with all sorts of stuff on there. I wonder if it's based on something else. This one is Ember PCBA 10077- obfuscated. PCB 1, I don't know, maybe the QR or something. Tight little package. All right, we'll get this cleaned up, and we'll start disassembling the battery pack too. All right, the battery pack is disassembled. There's the wired end of it. Here's the other end of it. Here's the BMS. See if we can find a part number for a reference for that online anywhere. Looks reasonably simple. Can you see in there? It's upside down. TNR, INR 18650 MH1. So just a standard battery. So we're going to pull this apart. We'll desolder this, hopefully not setting ourselves on fire in the process, and we'll get some new batteries in there, and away we go. Okay, so today we acquired some dangerous electrical and heating, sparking, whatever tools and accessories. So we're hopefully going to fix the coffee mug. So I've got a spot welder, got some nickel strips, a pair of new Samsung batteries, and I've got the old battery controller. I decided to, rather than desoldering these things and making new, I guess, traces or connectors or whatever you want to call them, first I'm going to try, or rather I tried, taking the contacts that were already spot welded to the batteries off. Obviously this one didn't come off super well, the one at the back that connects the two together. These came off okay. I was able to flatten them out a little bit with a punch and a ball peen hammer. we'll see if these weld. You know, it's no big deal if they don't. I can just make a new trace with new metal and it'll be okay. But might as well try this. It's all the right size right now, and it should save me a little bit of time. So we'll see if we can get this back together into a nice package. I don't have any heat shrink, unfortunately, so we're just gonna tape it with some electrical tape. Hopefully that'll be okay. The thing doesn't get really jostled around a whole lot, so it shouldn't matter too much if it's tightly packed in here. So we'll hopefully have a working coffee cup soon. Hopefully it goes without saying that you should test any new gear that you purchase or that you might not be familiar with, never used before, etc., etc. So here's my spot welding test. I've never done spot welding before, so we're testing. And I started following the directions in the manual with some heat settings. And as you can see, it looks like Swiss cheese. This is 0.15 nickel. So the manual for this thing, I'll link it in the description. It's either wrong or I don't know, something's up. But the recommended settings, it's called gear. How long the pulse is or whatever. The recommended settings for this thickness of metal and type of metal will punch holes right through it. So it took me about 20 minutes or so to get the right setting. So the manual recommends, like, I don't know, a 70 or an 80. My last weld is the perfect one right there. And that's a 23. So it's significantly different. So I'd encourage you to test this before you actually start welding your batteries, because it could be expensive, put holes in them, etc., etc. So we're still in the repair process. I'll be back soon. Okay, for my first spot welding job, ignore that it looks like, you know, craters on the moon. That's just how I had to peel them off the old cells. But they took some spot welds. I'm reasonably happy. Nothing set on fire yet. This is the new side that I built a little thing for, except for that one hole there. I'm reasonably happy with how this came out as well. They're pretty tight, so they don't seem to be moving. So now we're just going to wrap it up in electrical tape. Just make sure none of the metal bits are touching. The outside of the cup is plastic, but still we want to make sure it's completely insulated. We'll reinstall it and hopefully have some warm coffee in about 20 minutes. Just want to get a close-up of the kind of locking mechanism that this uses, in case it could be helpful to someone else. And so to tighten this, we're going to go counterclockwise or anti-clockwise if you live, I guess, really anywhere except America. Maybe North America. One more back there. So we're at reassembly stage. It's a little tricky to get just right. You kind of have to look in inside the cup, see where the tabs line up, see where the locking little pawls go, and obviously be careful not to stretch out the ribbon cable, because if that breaks, it's a very sad day. So just kind of look at it for a while, and you'll be able to feel where it kind of sets down, and then you'll be able to turn it about, I don't know, 10-15 degrees to the left to lock it in. One thought I had, and I think someone mentioned on the forums, that they were going to build kind of a jig to go in these little slots. If you take the little rubber foot off here, there's 1, 2, 3 slots, kind of indentations there. I assume they have a jig at the factory. And that's how they screw and unscrew the bottom. I'm wondering if someone could 3D print that with some sort of material that has kind of a high, I don't know if it's tensile strength, but you know, something that's not going to bend when there's force applied to it. Because I mean, they're reasonably deep, millimeter or two maybe. So it might be one option for getting this off. I would have absolutely paid a little bit of money for someone to ship me something like that to try and get this off, as opposed to using this thing. So just some food for thought. Well, we appear to have an initial success. Got the bottom back on. I'm not sure it's completely locked in because you can see the light is not exactly centered on the logo. It's maybe, I don't know, a millimeter or two off. I've been trying with a strap wrench, but I can't get a super good grip on it to tighten it. I think it'll be fine based on the length of those little pawls inside. There's still plenty of grab in there. The bottom falls off. We'll just reattach it. Shouldn't be a big deal. Not too much load on it. So we'll let this charge and heat up some coffee and see if it starts smoking when it discharges. But I think we're in good shape. So thanks to the guys on the forum that posted all the pictures and stuff. I really built on their work. I didn't do anything new here. And I hope this helps you if you got a broken Ember mug.